It's a frigid January morning in Pittsburgh in 2022 when a thunderous crash shakes the Regent Square neighborhood.
South Braddock Avenue and Forbes Avenue. A lot of screaming and static on the phone.
This doorbell camera captures the sound at 6:39 a.m.
It sounded like an explosion or some kind of a bomb dropping.
Melissa Bacht is awakened by the rumble.
I honestly thought we were being attacked.
I had to zigzag between the trees because they have a lot of the areas cut off.
She races to the scene a block and a half away from her home and discovers the source of the noise.
It's kind of like a scary scene, but you can see the bridge completely.
The Fern Hollow Bridge has fallen. Several cars and a city bus now sit in a chasm of concrete and steel wreckage 100 feet below.
I got a man that just came up from the woods, but we have possibly more people underneath the bridge.
All I kept thinking was that every morning I take my daughter to preschool and just think about what could have happened today.
Somehow, all 10 people on the bridge that morning survived, but our Scripps News investigation discovered it never should have gotten to this point. Warnings about Fern Hollow were ignored for years. Documents we found in litigation filed by survivors of the collapse show a long paper trail of neglect going back to 2001.
This is a dangerous situation, and you just ignored it, and I don't understand how that happens with our lives.
While collapsing bridges are exceptionally rare, neglect of these vital structures is common. A Scripps News investigation found thousands of bridges across the country like this one in need of replacement or major repair. Fixing them has become a centerpiece of President Biden's push to improve America's crumbling infrastructure. As chance would have it, he was in Pittsburgh the day of the Fern Hollow collapse to talk about infrastructure. He went by the disaster site and said it would jumpstart his plans to reconstruct bridges all over the country.
You're going to fix them all. Not a joke. This is going to be a gigantic change.
Since he took office, money from the federal government, including from the infrastructure law he championed, has helped pay for over 6,400 bridge repair and replacement efforts across the country. But there are many more bridges in need of help. Some 14,000 bridges identified in a Scripps News analysis have been rated in poor condition for at least a decade. Altogether, they carry more than 46 million passengers every day.
That number is not going to go down.
Kent Harries is a structural engineering professor at the University of Pittsburgh. How did we get to a point as a country where so many bridges are in so much need?
Neglect. We've been neglecting our infrastructure pretty much since we built it.
The list of bridges needing repair or replacement spans the entire country. There's the nearly 100-year-old Magnolia Bridge in Seattle, weakened by an earthquake in 2001. In Massachusetts, it'll take $4 billion to replace the ailing Sagamore and Bourne bridges connecting Cape Cod. And outside Denver, a bridge going over 6 lanes of US 85 has spindly cracks all over the bottom of its concrete deck. Is a poorly rated bridge in danger of collapse?
No. It means it needs attention. It means it needs repair, retrofit, rehabilitation, and in a few extreme cases, replacement now.
Even in Pittsburgh, more than a year after the Fern Hollow disaster, we found bridges in startling states of disrepair.
And the bridge is up here, a couple lights.
Harries takes us to see this bridge, known as the 28th Street Bridge, which has parts dating back to 1890. Thousands of people use it every day. It doesn't look like it's in great shape.
It's not in great shape, no.
We found records detailing deterioration going back 30 years.
We can see older steel. You get this kind of flaking. This is a great example of just not having the resources to address what's necessary.
The city says a full rehab is in the works for this bridge, but not till 2026. Nearby at the Maple Avenue Bridge, we discover holes in the deck where you can see blue sky. Oh yeah, there it is.
I got him, I have him. Thanks, honey, you as well.
And across town, Marcy Kemmler runs the diner below the California Avenue Bridge. She shows us her collection of rusted pieces that she says fall from the bridge daily.
I guarantee you, if we walk over there, we'll see it. Like, these are bolts. It makes me so mad.
This bridge dates back to 1928 and shows its age. When you just sort of touch the bottom of this bridge, It just comes apart in your hands, the supports of this bridge. I'm barely even pulling, and these pieces just come apart.
I have to focus on what we have to do to make every resident in this city safe.
Mayor Ed Gainey had been in office for less than a month when Fern Hollow fell. He immediately ordered a review of all of the city's bridges. New repair projects are ongoing, but work on many of the bridges is still years away.
We're not saying that we don't have to address these issues. That's why we prioritize them. But we're working towards them based on the ones that need the most need right now.
Let's talk about that, because it sounds like you have many bridges that are in need of repair. Why not just fix all of those right away?
Well, if we could, we would. Funding is a major issue. I'm so fortunate that President Biden focused on a bipartisan infrastructure bill, but the reality is we need more.
A U.S. Transportation Department spokesperson we contacted says it's true that the recent infusion of federal funding is not enough to tackle the backlog of bridges in need. It took about a year to rebuild the Fern Hollow Bridge, and it recently reopened. Melissa Back once again walks it with her daughter, but says she will never forget the day the old bridge fell.
This could have been so much worse. Like, this could have been devastating.
I'm struck by how strong your emotions are about this bridge a year and a half after the collapse.
Because it's very jarring, you know? I mean, when you're a parent, like, that's honestly all I can think about. It's just like your sense of security and trust in something that you, like, rely on daily, you can't trust anymore.
Maybe some small consolation here. These bridges may be in poor condition, but they are not considered unsafe. That's because bridges that are in poor condition tend to undergo much more rigorous inspections designed to keep them from just flat out collapsing. Chance.
Wow, I don't know how reassuring it is. I mean, the bridge is coming apart in your hand in that one case. We saw the bridge in the story, you know, the rusted steel. It's falling onto the diner. What did the mayor in Pittsburgh say about that?
Yeah, I can show you. This was one of the bolts that actually fell the day that we were there. We didn't see it fall, but it was on the ground. Showed it to the mayor, and he said, yeah, that's pretty shocking, but they have a lot of bridges that need work. The city says on that bridge that you saw in the piece, they are looking to see why so many pieces keep falling. They've got some netting under there, and they are working to perhaps expand that to make that bridge safe, but it's going to be years before that bridge gets a permanent fix. Chance.
Oh, it's hard to get people excited about bridges until you see something like this. Important. Patrick Terpster, thank you.